Dream, 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 dream. Dream, dream, dream when I want you. In my arms when I want you. And all your charms whenever
So I actually tried recording this earlier, but we're just gonna do it all over again. I only recorded like a minute or so. Now that I have time and everything is calmed down, hours later, many hours later, I'm going to describe and explain this dream that I had today. I would definitely say it's one of like more of a prophetic dream. So, yeah, and I haven't been able to remember my dreams in a really long time. So that definitely makes this like extremely important. And I already know because of the way that it felt. Like I definitely had an astral projection type of moment. So my entire life for as long as I remember, I have had reoccurring tornado dreams and end of the world dreams. So after so many times of having those type of dreams, I started to, as I started to awaken and get into spirituality and tarot and astrology, I was like, the internet, let's research what this means. And what I kind of started to realize as I connected the dots is that I would have these tornado themed dreams, these end of the world dreams during very pivotal moments, either in my life or even in the collective sometimes when we're going through like mass energy waves of like shifts, things like that. I will have dreams. So I do think that this was more on the collective scale of things, and we are approaching a full moon eclipse in Scorpio. We're literally like days away from that happening. It's actually May 2nd. So I had this dream technically as I woke up into May 1st, like as I woke up into the Monday. So I guess Sunday night I had this dream. And it was super weird because I actually woke up at 5:08 and I work at 6 o'clock. I'm a third shifter. So I was actually luckily not too late for work. I was able to scurry around and get ready and go right to work up the street from where I live. But yeah, it was one of those, like we'll get into that and all these things, but the dream itself, so end of the world dream, one of my famous end of the world dreams. So from what I remember, as far as the setting, I was in an old childhood home of mine. I used to live in this house out in the middle of the country, between like around the years of like 2007, 2006, 2005, 2004, 2000, like around that era, when I was like 12, 13, 14, 15, I don't know, around that time period. But I often have dreams about this specific home. The setting of our dreams is actually extremely important and can be quite telling when it comes to the meaning behind it all, because I do believe all dreams have meaning and subconscious importance. So this dream was at that house, and I was actually around family as well. So I know that's tied in somehow or some way. So my mother was there, my stepfather was there, my sister was there, my sister's boyfriend at the time and husband now is there. And also, I remember there could have been another person or so. If so, I don't remember who they were. But basically like family vibes. And then we had these two dogs. My dog that I have now, which is a Chihuahua, and then a childhood dog of mine who's actually no longer alive was in the dream. So this was quite back in the day. Yeah, all I can remember is that there was just this vibe of a tornado. There was a storm coming. We were at this house out in the country. I remember going downstairs at least 2 or 3 times to go look up at outside of a window. There was a window downstairs, not quite in the basement, because we had this specific home that I grew up in was a quad level home. So there was the actual basement, and then if you go up a level, there was like a bathroom and 2 rooms that were technically partially underground. And then you go up another level, and that's the living room, the kitchen, and up another level, and that's another bathroom, another living area room, and what was my parents' room at the time. So I went down into the partially underground part, not quite the basement where we should have been, honestly, during this moment, because I looked up outside of the window and I could see very dark cloud. I think now that I'm discussing it and kind of looking back, the details will recall. So I kind of remember looking and it being kind of less gray, but it's definitely like tornado vibes. And then I remember going back down. My family was upstairs, huddled in the middle of the living room with the 2 dogs. And then my sister, my stepdad, my mom, everyone was huddled almost like with the animals in the middle to protect them. And I would go downstairs quickly to just see what was going on and report back to them. And at one point, I just saw very dark clouds, the darkest I've ever seen. Like, I don't even know if it was clouds or if it was smoke or but it was just like this cloudy, foggy, black energy that was starting to funnel down into a tornado in the distance, I guess, but kind of close. And yeah, the details and the chronological order of this is kind of strange as it comes back to me now. But I remember going back to my family. But there was this specific time where, and this is where the dream kind of shifts vibes, like, okay, astral projection, this is actually on a collective level. So I go back downstairs just to check to see how close the tornado was, But what I seen instead was this, the best way I can describe it, so when I first seen, the sky, I thought what was coming was a tidal wave of some kind, like a tsunami tidal wave. But as it came closer, as I looked longer, it was actually like a wave of energy. The reason I thought it was water or a tidal wave is because it was a shimmering blue, but it was almost like laser-like or energetic-like. If you've ever seen in a movie where something's being scanned or downloaded, or when something is like kind of like in Fortnite, when there's a storm coming, like the storm radius, that's exactly what this was, like a radius. But it was getting closer and consuming the earth. So this is the part of the dream where I need to explain, like, not necessarily details that were in my dream, but I'm actually the kind of dreamer where I receive information, like I think in my dreams. I have memories in my dreams. I don't just float around like a character. Like my dream vessel is kind of advanced or something. But so, like, I don't know how I know this, but my character in my dream, the dream Braylon or the dream me had awareness that, oh yeah, this is like the thing that was coming for the world. Like, all of a sudden I had this awareness, and it's almost like I was shown these like flash buys or like flash, not memories, because I don't think they had occurred, but I was shown these like these brief moments of information. Like it would be like a commercial on TV when you're watching a movie. Like the dream is the movie. This part of the dream was like commercials or something flashing before me, like just awareness that, like on the radio, I just kept hearing brace for impact. Like whatever this was, this energy, this wave, it was coming to the earth. And to earth, it was like dying a little bit. Like on earth, if it was like what we know to be as death, only that it wasn't death though. It wasn't really death. It was like a new reality that was coming, like a shift. But the weird thing about it is that in this like tidal wave shimmery thing, and it was a wall as well. That's what it was being called. Like brace for impact. The wall is coming. This would make a great movie, honestly. Like I don't know what was going on, but it was in this weird reality where there were storms and then this wall of a new reality energy. And it's like, no matter where you were on earth, it was eventually going to reach you. It was a question of when, not if. Like this energy was coming. It was briefly on the news and people just kept saying like brace for impact. And the weird thing about it is in this like shimmery energy, what I could also see is it got super fucking close. Like this was like so close that I probably wouldn't even have had time to go back upstairs and warn my family. And I can't remember if I did or not. But this energy had like it was filled completely with bodies, like with frozen. I don't know if they were dead or just still or in a different reality, or like it was very similar to it was very similar to a movie I just watched, which may or may not have something to do with the inspiration of this dream as far as some of the details. But I can't remember the name of the movie. I think it was called Time Trap or Time Warp. Anyways, there was a brief part in that where people were frozen, and it's almost like water, but it's not. It's not quite water. It's like energy kind of. or like almost electricity. It's like a weird combination of all that. But anyway, there were all kinds of corpses, like so many in different positions, just like frozen and contorted in this wave of energy. And I feel like once the energy reaches you, like, and that was a scary moment too. Once that energy surpasses wherever you are on earth, maybe you become that's what it looks like to people who aren't in it. And then honestly, I do not remember and it's probably good that I don't, because it kind of felt painful and scary and bizarre. Like, and I think it was just more so the preparation. Like maybe the actual energy reaching you finally isn't what the big deal is, but it was super terrifying. The unknown is exactly what it was. Like the unknown just getting closer, because it's just this wave and it's like, okay, what happens once it reaches me? Am I going to die? Is it going to hurt? And there's no way to escape it. Like it was everywhere, like this wall that just kept getting closer and closer. And it was like a light blue teal almost color water energy wave. And I don't remember exactly what occurred once I got back to tell my family, like, we need to brace for impact now. It's coming. I thought it was a tornado and that's what was coming, but then it turned into this whole weird energy reality wave wall thing. And then after that, I guess as we continue with this dream, this is the reality after that wave of energy reached. Because all of the sudden, yes, I'm still in this home, but where the dogs were in the middle, they were gone. There were all kinds of people around. It had looked like a bomb went off or something. Like there was all of a sudden everyone, and it was just me and my family. But like now, there's all these people running around. Some of them are on the ground. Like I could barely even see everyone. Like I don't even know where anyone went anymore. Like I was trying not to get separated from my family. And also I really, really wanted my dog. Had no idea. It was just like a completely different chaotic reality. And I remember looking at the area where me and my family were standing just moments before, and where should have been two dogs protected in the middle. Instead, there were masks, like the doctor's masks. There were like some regular blue doctor masks, like the ones that we were wearing during COVID. So that may or may not have something to do with this dream too, which is kind of scary. But I actually have rainbow versions of those masks. They're regular doctor masks, but rainbow colored, that were given to me by a friend. And my mask was laying down there, so I reached for it to pick it up. And I looked up, and all of a sudden, there's this man in a hazard suit. It's like an astronaut hazard biosuit. He's covered and protected from head to toe, which was kind of weird. But there were tons of these individuals walking around, and they seemed to be in control. I've actually had dreams similar to this. Not in this dream, but in a different dream I had, there were those biohazard people, and they were just injecting people with stuff. Like, we really didn't have any say-so. Like, the world was ended, and we just had to get straight up injected with whatever that chip was. But not in this dream. In this dream, I picked the mask up, and that biohazard dude rushed me so quick, and like it was so scary. He's like, what were you just doing? Why did you just move? And I said, I completely just like blamed it on my mask. I was like, I was just trying to find my mask. I just was putting my mask on. And I don't know why that was such a big deal for me to move, and why I felt the need to lie about why I moved, because really I was looking for my dog. But I kind of just panicked and didn't know that I wasn't, like, that this was this reality. Like, okay, I didn't know that I couldn't move. So he was like, okay, that checks out. Like, once I told him it was my mask, he's like, oh, okay. And he, like, I can't really remember what happens. That's really, like, all in my memory, except for at some point, I actually, this is like, we're in the different reality. Those who made it. Those who have been in through the wave and who have arrived are here. If you haven't, you haven't. But if you've been through it, you've been through it. And it was painful. That's all I can remember, is that there was immense pain in my entire body, almost, I can remember. But I remember, like, I can't remember some parts. And then what I do remember next is, at some point I seen my dog. We're in this like house. I don't know if this is my house still, or the weird wave version of my house now. And I also don't know if, like, that wave of bodies, and remember I was seeing, like, they were frozen in it, like frozen, contorted bodies in all different positions, just frozen and floating and getting closer and closer. I'm almost wondering if, when that wave reaches, you're in the wave now, and now those are actual people, because when there was just my family, it was just my family. But when that wave of weird frozen corpses, man, that's weird. When that wave reached us, then there was all of a sudden people everywhere. Like, it was so strange. But when things calmed down later on in the dream, I remember just getting a glimpse of my dog. There's so many other details that I can't remember now, but they're all significant. There were very significant people in my dream too. And anyways, I remember seeing my dog, and I was actually certain that my dog had died. So it gives me this weird feeling that, like, there's just like this rebirth energy, this transformation energy, because my dog and like those frozen people who are now moving all around chaotically, and then my dog was gone, and then I seen him later on just perfectly fine sleeping. And it was kind of like, oh, hey, you made it through. You made it through the wave. Hey, welcome. It was like those kind of vibes. Like, okay, this is a new reality. Hey, how's it going? Very much cleanup vibes, very much like restoration vibes after making it through whatever this was. I don't know if this was some weird like eclipse energy, but I did feel the need to record this dream. It's been a very long time, as I said in the beginning, since I've remembered a dream. So I know that there's messages here and that it's just an intense journey, maybe in my life personally, and definitely just in the collective with this full moon in Scorpio eclipse approaching on May 5th, 2023. Like, this is a very pivotal time. Maybe the world is going to go through changes at some point. Maybe I caught a glimpse of that. It does feel prophetic. It definitely felt like an astral projection. I've only had a few experiences with astral projection, never intentfully, never on purpose. It just happens. It's actually terrifying. Wouldn't recommend. But this feels like another one of those. This feels like a very, very powerful dream for not just me, but for others as well. Like, lots of changes, nothing to be afraid of, which is what my dream showed me too. It's just new life, But I felt collective energy with all the people around. My dreams will show me crowds of people in a mall, in a school, or anywhere to resemble the collective. These people don't have to have faces or names. It's just to represent that this is not happening to the one, it's happening to the all. So I definitely wanted to share that. And then it was just super strange as far as the astral projection. Waking up randomly. I usually set an alarm for 3:33 and then 4:44 p.m. And I have to work at 6, so it really just depends on how long I want to give myself before work. But if I wouldn't have sprung up shortly after, maybe the energy of finding my dog was so unexpected that it woke my actual self up. But I checked my clock and it was 5:08. I'm like, holy shit, I have to go to work. And like, it really started my day off strange, like very weird. But I talked to my roommate hours later when I got home, and he told me that he woke up around 5 and felt that I wasn't here. And that like kind of weirded me out, because that just kind of confirmed to me that I may or may not have like went to a different planet or astral projected. Because that's another thing, is like at some point in the dream when I seen that wave of energy, that seems to be what I remember most. Like, I will never forget that. But it kind of looked like I can't really determine whether I was on Earth or a different planet. So if I was on Earth, I was about to head to a different planet type thing. You know what I mean? Like, it was definitely something that the Earth was approaching, and I think it changed Earth. I don't know, but this was a wild dream. And yeah, I definitely just wanted to record it. End of the world dreams are quite powerful. So, if you're having dreams of like tornadoes and chaos, and, look up what they mean and just investigate, because they can be quite informative.